Here's how much people tip around the world, 2023. Although other countries do include tipping, like the Middle Eastern countries and Africa, specifically in America, doesn't a problem arise? As it feels like tipping is being shoved down our throats, unlike most countries, and almost force our hand to spend extra. The societal pressure from tipping only acts as a guise for companies that refuse to pay their workers fairly and accurately. As a food service worker myself, who does obtain tips, I feel that my job would feel worth it if I had gotten paid more than what I currently do. So we will be focusing on the United States and the tipping here, especially in California. But the average tip in California is about 15 to 20% of the full check. While in places like Europe, it's about 5% to 10%. And this comes from a Modern Mother, which is a European article website. And it says tipping in California, guide to how much and when. So as we can see, the tipping in the US, or we'll just say specifically in California, is much, much, much higher than other countries. But why is that? Well, this can be attributed to the wages for the fast food workers. Not just fast food, just food workers in general. Their wages are incredibly low. Only in California, we see about 14% is the $14, which is what about a food service worker makes. This comes from ZipRecruiter in ZipRecruiter October 21, 2023. That's not enough for someone who is not only dealing with money, but is also dealing with, comes with the mental stress, comes with the physical stress, comes with the emotional stress of dealing with people days in and days out for multiple hours on end. It doesn't really show the true difficulty of working as a food service worker. And this becomes much more disproportionate when you also look at people like waiters and chefs, where their job is so much more draining than people really do realize. For chefs, you're in the kitchen cooking it up. You know, you're being physically trained every single day to have perfection or near perfection on everything you do. And servers themselves, well, they go in, they take your order, they have to remember it, and they have to know which table it is. They have to deal with any complaining customers, any complaints. They have to deal with running around. They have to hold everything. They are like, those two jobs are the backbones of the food industry, and they're not getting paid enough. And even if we just look at that, in Germany, they get paid about 12 euros an hour. But we'll see why this is so much more significant. It may seem a little smaller, but we'll see why this is significant in a little bit. That is simply because the cost of living here. Living in America is expensive. Okay. Living in America is so expensive. And trying to make a living off of just the wage you receive from being a food service worker is not enough, right? For California, the average to live is about $53,000, while the food service worker only makes about 15 to 30K a year. And this comes from SoFi, the cost of living in California 2023, and ZipRecruiter, same one, October 21st, 2023. While if we look at our little partner, Germany, their cost of living is about 966 euros, which in American dollars is about $1,100. So yes, they get paid less, but their living expenses are so much less. And these living expenses include car payments, gas, groceries, rent, or house payment, and any other, and that does not include insurance. That doesn't include car insurance. That doesn't include health insurance. That doesn't include, any other dependents you have. That simply is not enough. And so how are they getting away with this? They are getting away with this because now, instead of the job giving you guaranteed money, they want to give you insecure money, which is tips. That's what tips are. It's insecure money. So they want to make it how, even though you're put under all this stress, all this physical endeavors, you're only given a small wage. But And here's a caveat, but you can gain more if you're a top tier worker, if you're a great person. But that relies too much on humanity of people. That relies too much on the humanity of people to really give you those tips. You know, some people might say like, okay, well, yes, you have to be a better worker to get your tips. You know, if you're a better worker, you'll get your tips. But why do I have to truly be outstanding and even still not get guaranteed money? You know, doctors, they have to be outstanding at their job, yet they get guaranteed money. Surgeons have to be astounding at their job. Governors, here and there, but real estate agents have to be astounding at their job to get their money. But if you're astounding at as a food service worker, you're not guaranteed to get the rewards you are due. And people might say, oh well, the minimum wage is going to go up to $20 an hour in California, and this comes from the California state government. That really doesn't matter, because if the minimum wage goes up, then the cost of living will go up, food expenses will go up, and car expenses will go up. Everything will go up. That's how inflation works. Even though these people at these food service workers will be getting paid, they're not going to be getting paid enough. Everything will go up. As I don't know if you have seen yet, but McDonald's and Chipotle are already raising their prices again. And like I said, this is for profits. This is not for gauging a worker. This is strictly for profits. These companies want to keep the wages low and give you, some leniency with how you are being tipped, so that they can keep you at a low cost and really rely on your experience and the people you are serving. And in my own personal opinions, like I said, I work at a fast food restaurant, ice cream restaurant that is Cold Stones. We do get tips, and I do take my tips home, which is fantastic. But you have other places like Yamava Resort, which is a casino. My brother used to work there. He got tips as a chef, and he said he would bring in so many tips a night, and guess what? None of it went to him. That's illegal. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Not only is he working hard, but he's getting paid low, and his tips are getting taken. That's how these companies operate. They're not operating based off of how, treating their workers right. They're operating off of profits. And that's the problem. As us individuals, we need to start fighting against this. A lot of people won't understand unless they worked in a food industry job. They wouldn't know. And it's up to us as students, as adults, and as humans ourselves to not only give these people their dues, but also mainly in cash. You got to give them in cash. Give them in cash dues. Not only do we have to give them their dues, but we have to start lobbying. We have to start going up against the governments and these companies that are truly treating these workers wrong. And that is my speech. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for listening.